Ready for takeoff.
We are cleared for takeoff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time to take flight in your community and in your life. This is Audio Airstrike.
Okay,
Can you check my makeup and my hair? Is it looking good?
This
Do I
dude.
look? Do I look
Air
desirable?
honestly is no, not today.
I don't look. Do I look
I'm gonna
desirable?
be honest. You're right.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben, you got enough mousse in your hair, okay? You don't need any more.
It's
Get those moose out of there.
I might need more. I might need more.
Ben's
It's actually
hair-
dry shampoo.
Ben's hair's gotta like when the light comes down on it, it's gotta just be like reflected.
Yeah, we'll start with my morning routine. That's how I'll start this.
Just gotta burn the sensor out on the camera from too much
Freaking
light.
crazy, man. What's up, everybody? I'm Everett Hall McNeil, and this is Audio Airstrike, and we appreciate you for listening. Now, with me at this time, I have a couple of guests. These are co-workers of mine, and based on how they acted, based on their personality, I was like, yo, let's get up, let's do the show, let's talk, let's have fun, let's do what we got to do. To my right, probably to yours left if you're watching, this dude, really a go-getter. So he is very into the MMA world, making himself out to be a media personality in his own right. He has his own show called Jake and Josh. Ladies and gentlemen, with me at this time, Jake Cooperman.
Appreciate
What's
y'all.
up, man?
Appreciate you having me, man.
Not a problem, not a problem.
Dude, I thought, you know what's funny is I thought Everett's going to be like, based off of how these guys are off camera, I wasn't originally going to let him on the show, but then they figured out their way on the set somehow.
I would need to pitch in and just be like, all right, bro. He said coworkers. I would have said friends.
Yeah. Acquaintances at best.
Yeah, these are my coworkers. They won't be around for long.
I gotta get familiar with y'all. No, I'm playing. These are friends of mine. If they look at me as a friend, I'm looking at them as a friend. It's only right. So to my far right, which is y'all's far as left, he is a photographer, a business owner, a editor, a photographer in his own right. This is Ben Rose.
Heavyweight champ.
RVA, bro. Born and raised.
Yes, sir.
Let's give it up for
I'll drink.
RVA.
Let's give it up to. I'll drink for that. I'll drink to that. I'll drink for that.
Oh right, I gotta open mine here.
Where's
Give it a
mine?
crisp
Hold
crack.
on, hold on. Where's mine at?
I thought you didn't drink energy drinks, Ev.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
I was under the. Okay, I'm glad that I got that.
I said
correct.
I'll drink socially. I didn't know what that was. I thought it was like a, what is that?
It's everyone thinks it's like a
just-
spice.
It's an energy drink.
It's an energy drink. It's what I'm addicted to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not. I don't know. I don't
this
drink
is
alcohol,
clean.
but my vice is 300 milligrams of caffeine 4 times a day.
Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah,
an
never mind.
Arctic
They-
vibe, if you will.
They gonna carry Jake out of here by the
Which,
time it's
yeah,
said and done.
hopefully. Honestly, no, I'm just kidding. See, this is the thing. Is like I don't know how I'm subsisting off of 4 of these a day. Because I mean, you joke, Everett, but I might. There is a good chance I might collapse at some point. Like I think it's gonna catch up.
We're
with me
gonna
for
have
sure.
an intervention right on this show about you drinking them energy drinks.
Yeah,
but
bro.
before
I'm gonna put this down. Actually.
yeah. Before we do that, so the reason why we are here, the 3 of us are here, is this episode we kind of made it a fun one. We are gonna go through some Reddit stories. As y'all know, Reddit is crazy. Anything can be on there at any given time. If you want to know how the internet is interneting, go on to Reddit. So with that being said, we have a segment called
Am I the asshole?
Yeah, we can start off with that first. So I'll start off with mine. So I'm just going to kind of get into a brief summary of this particular story, right? So this particular story is about a girl. She has a boyfriend, you know, and she is living with her roommates. So, as you know, she is paying rent there. The boyfriend came through. You know, they were sitting down there watching a movie. It went to a Netflix and chill situation after the movie. They went to the bedroom, did the deed. Okay, y'all know what we're going with there. Okay, they went to the bedroom, did the deed.
Standard.
I understand that.
Now,
I do
based
that a
on what she is saying, she gonna say they were quiet while doing it. Now, the roommates, however, called her to the court and was like, listen, we have a little bit of an issue with you out here clapping cheeks.
She's clapping cheeks.
Bro wasn't paying attention to the story.
Look, what you out here doing what you do with your boyfriend
Right.
around
Right.
us. So the roommates are having an issue with the noise level. She's saying it's quiet based on her awareness. it's quiet. The roommates are having a problem with the boyfriend coming in and they're sleeping around or whatever. Now, in my personal looking at this, she is paying rent there. That is her space. Now, is she a jerk for, allowing, or is she a jerk because she's paying rent? Is she disrespecting the roommates in any way, shape, or form based on that story?
I want to make a judgment in a second, but I think we also need to ask the boyfriend. Because the boyfriend will tell you how loud they really got, and he'll probably add a couple decibels. He was like, yeah, I was going crazy. She was like, she was getting loud, bro. So I feel like we got to get both. We got to see what the boyfriend's talking about. And then, of course, she says that they're being quiet. I don't know. Is that like, you think that's like an awareness thing? Like when you're doing stuff, do you realize? Because I'm not going to get too in depth, but I don't really pay attention to that.
I mean, here's the thing: if the roommates hear it, I don't think we need any other opinions.
It was also how much
that's the problem.
Because a lot of the apartments around here, though, and no offense, Ev, but like if someone was doing something in that room and we were we'd hear it because of the side. You know what I mean? Or in for instance, in my apartment, my bedroom is divided by a small wall that's not very thick, so of course you're going to hear that. I want to know if it's 3 person. I mean, I don't know if they said where this is at. If it's in New York and it's 3 people living together, that's not a big apartment.
They did not specify where this exactly was.
So I think that also has a lot of bearing on the story because it's like there's some apartments where the walls are thin and you're going to hear stuff that you never wanted to hear or never thought you'd hear regardless. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's an important part.
So are you in not the a-hole camp in this instance? You're like, nah, they did nothing wrong.
I'm not necessarily saying like if she's going crazy. And if she's like going out of her way to make it louder, because I'm sorry, fellas, but there are people like that out there, and again, I'm not going to get too descriptive, but I feel like there are certainly people that do enjoy that type of thing. Then she, has some culpability. But there's also, I think, like extenuating factors for sure, where it's like, are the roommates, like whatever happened, I don't know, maybe it's more guy code, but like when you guys would want to do something, you say, okay, I'm going to have someone over. Can you guys like clear out? What about the roommates? Are they staying in? Can they not like take a hint and go outside and let the person have their space? I think there's a lot of different things that the original poster left out of this. That's all I'm saying.
Does it clarify if this is a recurring occurrence or if this is a one-time thing?
What's what Ben and I are like?
This was like so twice. Based on the story that I read, there were 2 occurrences where that happened.
2 occurrences? 2
occurrences where that happened.
2 occurrences
and then they brought her to the. That's when they brought her to the carpet floor. Now listen, it's one thing if the noise sounds like a daggone zoo going crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Then it's like
they're screeching.
Yeah, we got to have a conversation at that point.
If it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you could hear, if stuff's getting knocked around, then we're like, okay, that's something. But I don't know. I mean, 2 times and they called her out. Like, I don't know. Have these people not lived in college? Like, you know what I mean? That's a common occurrence in college.
Yeah, but not everybody is out there like that. Not everybody's out there like that.
She's lived with a couple of librarians then. I think I'm slowly starting to go on the poster side. I think I've slowly started to.
I honestly, I think I'm in the camp of if you're bringing it up and it's a problem, you don't want your roommates to hate you.
Yeah.
Try and see if you can tone it down.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's also that's true.
You can tone it down.
Yeah.
If you really care that much, you can get like soundproofing. Or you just go to, I guess, in this case, like the boyfriend's apartment, or wait till they're not there.
That's another great question.
Like, there's so many things you can do to alleviate the.
Where's the boyfriend play? Like, what does the boyfriend not have his own place?
I wonder if the schedule is not matching up.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
That's part
the schedule is probably not matching up. So his work schedule, when the people are not there, is probably different than when the people are there. So
that's true, and also
that's something you got to watch out for.
I like that you brought that up, Ben, because that's another big thing. It's like where they can't go to a secondary location.
Yeah,
it's always got to be her apartment. Maybe the vibes are there. I don't know. That's like maybe she has like the lighting. Where it's like like the LED strips where they like can change colors and everything.
That's what it is.
You can match the vibe.
She's got the LED strips. She's got the tapestry.
Yeah,
she got a whole bohemian vibe when you come in the room.
It is. Yeah.
She got a volcano.
Really
no, a whole no.
Oh, those volcanoes, those volcano lamps that.
Oh, you talking about the? Oh yeah,
with the music.
I'm talking about the whole bohemian vibe. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking
volcano
about a whole
volcano. What's a volcano lamp? What is that?
I just like a.
I'm I'm talking about like a whole bohemian vibe, like that really like earthy type of.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
vibe.
Yeah, I
You
like
come in
that
the house,
vibe.
all the interior decorating is right.
All I'm saying is that there's a certain type of room that's good for like cuddling and do, you know. But you know what I'm saying? Don't leave me out.
He
in the
talking.
I
Talking
think
from
I-
experience, apparently.
I'm not even like that.
Yeah. So maybe the boyfriend's just a kid. That's all it is in there.
Alex doesn't believe it, dude. Alex like, no, we just hear from the background. No shot, dude. I don't know. I think to your point, Ben, I like the point you made. So it's like, oh, actually, also, you were making this point. It's like there is a certain amount of conflict resolution. Resolution. I feel like, especially when we talk about these posts, the "Am I the asshole" posts, people are always so quick to assign blame to one person in a situation or another. But it's like, okay, maybe you were being a little bit loud, and then on the flip side of that, it's like, all right, maybe your roommates were being a little bit sensitive to the noise. And it's like, because I had people that were loud that I lived with, and it was always a simple thing of like, I never had to call them out and let's have a roommate meeting. It's like, dude, can you stop being so loud? Can you stop? Like, I'll even leave. You know what I mean? It's a simple conversation. So I think it goes both ways. And I like that you guys kind of brought that up. Obviously, we're supposed to be adjudicating, right?
Sure.
Judicators on who's the asshole. But I think it's a little bit more nuanced than that, honestly. And that's my TED Talk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna move on to the next topic. And that is...
Yeah, I guess we're going this way. My original one got nuked because it said it was interpersonal conflict. It was about a woman she's like, am I the asshole for making my boyfriend not have his girl best friend sleep in his room constantly? And it was like, yeah, I found her, underwear in the bathroom and like her clothes on the pile, and like they would stay in the same room. Like, am I the asshole? And I was like, oh, dude.
They're just good friends.
Yeah, they're just good friends.
Hey,
that guy's-
hey, dog. She's making it very clear by those actions.
I was
you are like grade C at this point.
You are with the asshole.
Right.
You know what I mean? That guy's just hitting layups every single night. And
Right.
It's crazy. Anyway, so I found this one, and this might be a little bit extreme, so let me know. Am I the asshole for rejecting my niece's adoption request in front of people? My niece, 14, has lived with me since her parents went to prison 5 years ago. Drugs. My sister is getting out later this year, and she's been working very hard in prison to improve herself and got her GED. That's respectful. That's respect to that. We are still very close and talk via an app the prison provides, and I take her daughter to visit her, along with her brother, who lives with his dad's brother once a month. We were having a birthday dinner at my mother's for myself and my daughter, 16. I don't know if they have the same birthday, but it seems like, okay, most of my family was there. For my present, my niece decided to give me adoption request papers, or whatever they are. I never ended up reading them. Is that a weird gift to get someone?
I mean, what?
It's
The
kinda like
niece is like
selfish.
13. Wait, how old?
14?
14?
16? Wait, no. Niece is 14. It's like, happy birthday, adopt me.
Okay,
I don't
keep reading.
Okay,
keep
okay,
reading.
all right, sorry. Oh, go ahead.
No, you good.
All
I
right.
had thoughts, but I didn't even.
Yeah, well, let's get to the end of this thing
Yeah.
first. All right. I was stunned and just shook my head. I was so shocked and confused. The plan was that she was always supposed to go home. My mother was upset by this request, as well as my other siblings, and my husband couldn't think of what to do either. She never brought this up in counseling or anything. I can't do that to my sister. I would not be able to take care of her without support financially from my grandma, who would stop supporting if I agreed. Why would the grandma stop her? That's weird. This was never even a thought. Now, she and my daughter hate me, it seems. My son, 21, said it was probably something she got from TikTok and she'd eventually get over it. My husband agrees with me. My siblings are staying out of it. My nephew isn't speaking to his sister now. It's a mess. Am I the asshole here? Trying to get outside opinion. Reddit seems as good of a place as any. ETA, my sister has a home with lot rent paid and a job with my aunt waiting the minute she gets out, since this keeps coming up. You are not the asshole for getting ambushed by a 14-year-old with adoption papers. That's a tough scene, I feel like.
I think it has to be. It has to be genuine. Anytime that you're adopting somebody, it's got to be genuine. You can't force. Nobody can be forced in that situation. And truth be told, like, you have to be prepared to handle,
To receive adoption papers.
right.
Yeah.
You have to be like ready for it. Like, there has to be a actual like solid relationship, solid talk, and like you guys have a solid bond where it makes sense for that to happen. Like,
Yeah, well,
as close as it can be. Like, I'm
Spriggan-
reading that. She cool with her, but she ain't cool with her. She's
adoption
not
cool.
close.
She's
Yeah.
not adoption cool, that's for sure.
Right.
We're not tight like that.
Right.
We're not
Like,
adoption.
there's a limit on how cool you are.
Like, Ben, you and I are tight. Would I adopt you? I'd have to think about it, honestly.
I'll bring the papers tomorrow.
Also, just like
Let it be known, I'm not adopting either one of these dudes at all.
Oh, well, okay. Now
that's
I want you to
disappointing.
be my father.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, not whoa. Whoa.
How do y'all think adoption works?
90% of this podcast is gonna end up on Patreon if ever it ever gets one day. See what they said. See what they said in between takes.
Yeah.
I have a multitude of questions about this because it's like, all right, first off, where did you get those adoption papers from? And
Yeah,
part
that's
of me,
kinda crazy.
Part of me also like wonders if it was like she brought in like a piece of paper with crayon and said adoption, yes or no.
Yeah, because I don't. How can you get those unless they're just like printing something off online and it's like
how you
it
get
does not
served
hold
that?
up in
Yeah.
court.
That's what I'm saying. Where'd she get that from? So that's the one thing. So that's what makes me think it's an inside job. Like
Inside
someone
job.
on the inside was like, let's get you
yeah.
adopted. That's, I mean, again, you can't, I don't think there's any way, like I always put myself in the shoes of the people in these scenarios, and I never know what I would do. If someone was like, if a 14-year-old was like, hey, by the way, also, for the person's birthday, I'm sorry, that's a bold move. Saying like your present is the prospect of having me as a legal daughter is crazy. You know how much confidence you got to have as a 14-year-old to say, I'm a gift in your life? I don't think we're talking about it. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And she stepped up to the plate and she swung and she struck out.
Low key, you got to respect it a little bit.
I think so.
I'm
I think you
actually stepping back. I think the person writing it, no, you don't need to adopt this child. You got to respect the child, though.
Yeah, that's
a bold move.
That takes balls.
It really does.
That take the amount, dude. That's like, and it's one thing. I saw videos of people getting married, and he gets down on one knee and he's like, "Will you be my wife?" And there's a crowd of people like cheering him on, and the girl's like, "No." That's like, take that and ratchet it up to 16 on a scale out of 1 to 10. Imagine saying, "Will you adopt me?" And someone was like, "Nah." You're in a Cracker Barrel somewhere celebrating a birthday. Nah, I'm not feeling it.
I think it's an easy no.
Well, it is an easy no. Well, that's also the other thing is like, how should this person kind of like handled?
How it should have went was there should have been an open conversation between the child and the person that they want to adopt them for whatever reason. Be like, hey, I want to talk with you about this. You never want to blindside somebody.
How you
with
blindside
something so serious like
adoption? How is that? Like, that's so crazy to me. Like my parents, when I was adopted, it was a contract that was signed. Both parties agreed, and then the deed was done. But I wasn't even conceptualized. I wasn't even conceived yet. Conceptualized is crazy. Wasn't even thought of yet, dude.
You could tell he failed English.
Yeah. How do I even have I want to be a media personality. I'm just out here to conceptualize. I mean, that is, especially when you're 14, there's a lot. I think the common thread amongst most of these stories is that there's a lot being left out that we don't know about yet. Mm-hmm. Like, what type of prior relationship did they have? I think they got into it a little bit. Honestly, everything blacked out after I heard that the kid tried to like spring an adoption on someone at their birthday party. I wasn't really paying attention after that. But I don't, there's not really, that's something out of a movie scene. And to expect that, I feel like from real life is like, it's ballsy, but I don't think that this person's the asshole for shaking her head. Would there have been a better way to like maybe like pull this person to the side? That's what I'm saying. That there's definitely, you got to pull the kid to the side. Maybe that's where you could take some accountability.
Yeah, I mean, I think realistically, when it comes down to it, like jokes aside, yeah, what F's saying is accurate. Like, there needs to be a conversation between the two of them, and I mean, it has to be from in a way, like in this case, a parent's. That's I guess how it would turn out from a parent's perspective of like, yeah, this is something that like I want to do and have it kind of be known. I think flipping it around, it just doesn't work. And I also think the person that like they said in the story that was like probably like found it on TikTok and was like, yeah, like this is a great idea. Like that, they're probably right on the money with that. That it's just, it is something that's like, wow, this was super cute. I want to like replicate it with my current guardian. But there's definitely like, there's a lot more that goes on to it besides just what makes a good 60-second clip.
So sad, dude, when the reality must have been like, damn, like you thought you were about to get like, yeah, I'm not trying to crack jokes, but just realizing that it's like, oh, yikes.
Yeah.
That's a no. Like shaking your head. I want to see how, like, I wish I was to be a fly on the wall in that situation, to be like a table over and just like
Yeah.
just be like, no. Like, did she do it like that, or was she like?
I don't know.
It was probably more like a frantic like, because if someone was like adopt me, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, oh no. You know what I mean? I would not have reacted. I'd be like, no. You know what I mean, or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
something
I mean, I probably would. I probably like would have thought it was a joke at first, and like laughed at it, and then would have been like, no, this is serious. And I'm like, oh,
yeah, or
my
it could have
bad.
been. Right. It's like,
Let's take this serious real quick, because
I mean, it's one of those things where you got to watch out for. You have to handle that delicately, because the person that is, don't get me flagged for. We don't have. That's not a sponsor. Just joking. It's one of those things where it's like you got to handle that delicately, because the person that is seeking adoption, or the child that's seeking adoption, already kind of feels out of place.
Yeah.
Like internally.
the backstory too is very, very sad.
Right.
That kid's gotta, I mean, hopefully it seems like things are trending in the right direction. This is a very recent post, so hopefully all pans out. The mother gets out, and I mean, respect to the poster, because she understood that the mom wouldn't want her daughter getting taken away because she was in prison. Yeah. It's like, so it's respect. It seems like the mom has stuff set up when she gets out. She has a support system. The kid would be all right. Yeah. I also, where is the kid staying? Like, is she just? I guess she's probably like unofficially just staying with someone.
Well, they from what we know, that there's stuff set up for her the second that she gets out. That was the last bit of what is being said. So something is in the works for her, and hopefully it works out. But I know eventually, like with anything in progression, you're going to want to move on to bigger and better things. So this is just a starting block when she gets out. So
I wonder if the mom, like the fact that kid, because the kid had to have known the mom before. I'm assuming the mom went in, because she said the mom's been in there for five years.
It was 5 years.
So,
what,
4 years? Did I see 5? Oh, 5 years? 5? I think the kid probably had to have known the mom at least a little bit. I can't remember much from when I was 10, but the kid's 14, so maybe it's something where the kid doesn't even want to go back to the mom. It's what, the more you think about the stories, the more crazy it gets. Because I'm thinking about, why would the kid want to, if she has a mom that she knows is getting out, why go to her aunt? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes it crazy story.
no, we definitely get that. So we're going to slide this over to Ben
Go ahead,
for
Ben.
his
All
story.
right. We'll
Step up to
do
the
it.
plate.
We'll do it. All right. Here we go. This one is, do I read the title first?
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Holy shit.
Let's do it.
Oh my god. Just read the
Am
title.
I the a-hole for telling my husband if he fights for custody of his kids, I will divorce him?
This week on Maury.
Let's get into it. Honestly, 'cause I feel like this one can go 50-50. That's why I chose this one. All right.
Literally.
So I, 27 female, am vehemently child-free. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I am sterilized and have no intention of having or caring for any child. I married my husband, 33 male, last year and did not know he had any children until 5 days ago. I travel for work for myself, and have amazing pay and very few active working hours. I am a honeymoon planner owning my own business. We have a joint account for bills and our own separate accounts for saving and for fun money. My husband sat me down 5 days ago and told me that he hadn't been completely honest with me, and revealed he has 2 children, aged 10 and 7. He pays regular child support. However, it dips into his fun money, and he wants to be able to have fun like I am, so he said he would fight for 50-50 custody. I was furious he had lied to me, and even more angry when he told me he wanted 50-50. He works 12 to 16-hour shifts as a nurse, and that would mean I would have to take care of the children when I am not working and when I'm working from home. I told him if he fights for custody, I will leave him. We have a prenup, so a divorce will be rather simple. I get 100% of my business, all of my savings and fun money, and the house as I inherited it from my grandmother. He calls me an a-hole and told me I should step up so that he can have more fun money and savings. And the kids won't be much of a hassle due to their ages. So am I the a-hole for telling him I will divorce him if he goes through with filing for custody?
Absolutely not. See you later. What? You can't spring your kids on someone and be like, I want to have money to have fun too. Don't have kids at that point then. And then don't bring it up. I'm sorry. you can't just spring the fact you have kids on someone.
I feel like it is. Okay, I feel like it's like a two kind of part question because like
Yeah.
there is a part of me that kind of agrees of just like, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't have gotten like at the male in this situation not telling the person that he married, oh yeah, by the way, I have kids and I pay child support
keep
for
that
it
secret too.
is crazy. I do think there's a little bit of an argument for like, oh, like of course the way she worded it, the I see is a little bit more one-sided. Is like she's obviously saying like, oh, he just wants it so that he has more access to more finances. But if you do take the argument of like maybe he does want to have
Provide
more of a life with
provide
his
for
kids.
yeah.
So like I think there's a little bit. I think that like he definitely is an a-hole, but I do wonder if like I guess to go even further, what do you do in that situation? Period.
I think if you're the woman in this situation, you don't have much moral culpability because you didn't know. There's nothing. If you want to cut and run, you are, in my personal opinion, absolutely within your right to do so. You can go, and I think 90% of people would say nothing you could have done.
Yeah.
There might be 10% of people that say, okay, well, you could have stayed, and maybe this guy, we don't know also why he lied. So it could have been maybe I want more fun money. Being completely serious could have also been like, hey, I really like this woman. We're married now. Obviously, better way to handle it, I think. But
Well, I mean, it does say too, like she brings a point that like she's sterilized and does not want kids. So as soon as you hear that from somebody you want to marry,
That's
it's
also
like,
true, yeah.
oh yeah, by the way, I have kids.
probably not the best environment for kids.
Yeah. Not saying that that's the right thing.
That's true.
but
Yeah, no. So then, absolutely
makes sense
not,
why
no.
he wouldn't say it, I guess.
I mean, but then also that I feel like hearing that, and I really, this guy doesn't seem like a guy to give a lot of forethought or planning to things.
Probably not.
He's
Probably
like,
not.
I'll convince her. I'll get her on board.
I'm gonna be honest when I say this, and there's a couple of stuff that I see wrong with this. For one, if you got into that marriage, because a marriage you have to be transparent about, hopefully a lot of stuff. Like you have to be upfront and honest. He should have been honest out of the gate and be like, look,
Yeah.
I have 2 kids. I don't have the best relationship probably with the kid's mother. It's probably why he kept it a secret. But this is me just speculating in that regard. That has to be talked about. I don't understand how there wasn't a sign. And these kids are what? How old? Like 10?
10 and 7.
10 and 7.
And
So
he's
Yep.
paying child support, so something had to go left at some point.
Yeah.
right. This is like, so for the past, their whole life, you have kept this pretty much a secret. Also, I will say this. This is like that stuff right there. When you have a woman who is independent, if you hear it, she's practically independent. So the mindset is, based on what I'm hearing, is she's like, oh, well, I'm not liking any of this. I can just go. I ain't got to split nothing with you. It's 50. I can just go. Which makes me wonder,
She's a little bit afraid of commitment.
there's some commitment issues.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Also, it's like if I'm a big guy, like, and I really appreciate you said it's like a go-getter. Like, I can understand where she's coming from, where it's like right now, and I recently just got out of a relationship. It's better to kind of, and there's no disrespect to the person I was with, but it is. I realize now that it is probably better if you're building something the way that it sounds like maybe this woman is, whether it be monetarily, or I guess monetarily, financially, same thing. Career-wise, it is better to be solo dolo, right? Be making money for yourself if that's the type of mindset that you are. It seems like they kind of clashed, and this guy genuinely wants his own life as well as a life for his kids. Not a bad thing, but my whole thing would be if I was talking to this guy, I'd say, all right, well, then you need to find someone that is going to be, well, there's always people that are, no matter what you got going on. That's the biggest thing I always say is like, there's always someone out there for you. In your current situation, there's going to be a woman that can't have kids and wants kids. And if the guy, I mean, he's probably been divorced and married however many times. There's something with this guy to where like people could find him attractive or would want to get into a relationship with him. I think he's got a solid base. He's not gonna like lie to people. Because if I was a betting man, I would put down money on the fact that this guy is probably, the reason he's paying child support is because he's not been truthful about having kids in the past. And then had another kid or something. I don't know.
Either that or it's just one of those things like he just like, yeah, the kids are a blessing, but you and your mother, you and that kid's mother did not work out. And
Yeah.
it's probably, it got
I
probably,
mean,
got
for going
probably
back,
at it.
Yeah,
it probably got a little bit topsy-turvy and stuff of that nature. So it got to the point, for example, right? So I ain't putting nobody's business out there when I say this. You got a friend of yours that was in a relationship. It breaks off. It goes crazy. That person has a kid by that person, and then that stuff goes left. When it's heated like that, you ain't really trying to. It's already the you know what I mean. The floor is lava already. Yeah. Why keep walking on it? Yep. You know what I mean? So it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, look, I'm going to be there for the kid, but keep it cordial or somewhat on a co-parenting level with this person, if possible. If not, I'm just going to strictly be there for the kid.
That's another good question. What happened to where these other parental figures can't be in the kid's life? Because he also works 12 to 16 hours a day as a nurse.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's something where you're not going to get a lot of time with your kids. I don't even know how. Honestly, another one of those things where it's like more questions than we have answers. Because like how have the kids survived this long?
And you don't know. You don't know if he working all the
with
miles
the
on child
mother,
support.
and he pays child support.
So
his ex-wife has full custody of the kids. He wants to fight for 50-50 custody.
Okay. And the person he's with that's writing this post says that if he fights for 50-50, she's going to divorce him.
Yeah, because she doesn't want kids, and she doesn't want the responsibility.
Now,
and then
that changes things because I realize now I thought he was okay. That changes things for me a little bit. There's definitely a little bit more, I mean, nobody's saying that you have to like be a surrogate mom to the kid.
I will say this: I do find it very strange that she's just willing to end everything so quickly.
I mean, I think from the beginning, like you're kind of right on the money that she definitely, I think, has commitment issues and loves to be independent. Because the fact that, to me, I'm not gonna say it's a red flag because I think for certain people it works. But if you do sign a prenup, then you already are going into a marriage of saying like, yeah, I can easily end this.
So let me. I ain't mean to cut you off. Let me ask you this, right? You are married currently.
Yes, I am.
Happily married.
Love my wife.
Okay, got you. I like how he didn't hesitate or nothing when I asked that question. Yeah. So I'm not putting you on trial. This ain't law. This ain't law and order. Nothing.
Question.
But I have to ask this question because out of all of us, you're the married person, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So would you, if you were, let's say, I'm gonna give you a scenario, right? Your photography business is going crazy. You're making six figures just on the photography business. Mm-hmm. This not including any other, credentials that you might have. This is not including any other jobs you might have or stuff of that nature. I'm just throwing out a scenario right here. You meet the girl that you're with now. Mm. She is successful in her own right. Y'all sit down. Y'all want to get married, but she hits you with like, "Hey, I'm looking at possibly getting a prenup. Are you signing it?"
I'm going against it. I really? Think, yeah. I mean, part of it, which we've talked, but I grew up in a Christian home. I am a Christian, and so that's part of it because in my faith, when you get married to somebody, you're not divorcing them. Period. Yeah. Like the only reason why you would is if one of y'all cheated. And so going into it with having a prenup is just another reason of being like, oh yeah, this gets me out. This can get me out of this. When really, like the way I see it is, when I get married to somebody, it's for life because that way you're going to fight for each other in every part of the battle. So like in this instance, I think that the guy is definitely the a-hole in this situation. For sure. But in this same instance, I would have a different perspective because if I, for whatever reason, which would be pretty crazy, especially if it was like my wife suddenly into our marriage is like, hey, by the way, I have 2 kids and stuff. I wouldn't be thinking about divorce. I'd be thinking about like, how do we make this work? This sucks. I don't want, but how do we make this work? Because
let's clap up for that, man.
Ben is a rare one out here.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people I would have asked that question. Oh yeah, I'm signing a prenup. I'm doing this. I'm doing this, and that. A lot. And I'll break down kind of the reason why because we got a younger, so I'm gonna just give some game away. So if I respect Ben because we got the similar religious beliefs, but the reality of the situation, why a lot of people would say, hey, I would do a prenup, it's because they 9 times out of 10 in the court system, if the male has a lot of successful stuff going on, if they go to court, the woman that he's with, the woman that he's married to, and if they go for the divorce without a prenup, there is a good possibility he has to split everything, and that is sent off, which could hurt him financially, which could hurt him business wise. It could hurt him, professionally, emotionally, because I done worked for the past 20 years. I go through this marriage, and now you're telling me I got to split the home that I put my money into. I got to split everything. So that is part of the. I'm not now. Look, y'all can listen to this and whatever side you're on. If you're on Ben's side or other people's side that think this way, I'm just kind of giving y'all perspective and kind of telling you as to why nowadays a lot of people are starting to get on that prenuptial train because there's a fear of losing out.
Can I say that? And it's funny that I'm quite literally in the middle of you guys, but I also kind of fall in the middle. Because to Ben's point, I enjoy that idea. I'm a very, I forget, it's Platoism in philosophy, where it's like.
If you try to go encyclopedia on here one more time.
No, and it's not working either. That's the thing. It's like every time I try, it fails. I know, but it's the idea of
or a
perfect,
dictionary, I should say.
Perfect forms and perfect things, like ideal situations. If you're I think it's a Platoist. You should say like, I want the perfect body for me would be like 6-pack, chiseled out, and you inspire to that, and that's the way you live a great life. I like that idea because it's like Ben's like the perfect way to make a relationship work is to have no kind of, I don't want, and this is kind of where I would fall in the middle. To me, a prenup is a failsafe, right? It's a plan B just in case things don't work out. I think it can definitely impact feelings if it's brought up because it's saying like, it's essentially saying, okay, this is here in case things go south, right? And when people first get married, it's like, oh, you don't even want to think about that. You don't even want to conceptualize the fact that things could at some point go south. I like that idea that you're stating where it's like, if there's something going on, why even need the failsafe? Like, it almost feels like sometimes to me, and maybe this is just like me being younger and having a little bit more naivety in terms of the way I view the world, but I do enjoy the idea that Ben puts forth where it's like, instead of having the fear of saying like, okay, this person could have potentially cut and run and take me for half I'm worth, I'd say this might also just be for more like popular or more influential guys. You don't pick people to get married that you think are going to try to ruin your life. And then for the everyday person, it's like, yeah, why not try to work it out? Why not try to get over the rocky road if you do end up getting divorced? There is a way. I know that sometimes divorce court isn't always the most tolerant, or it doesn't lead towards men. But,
it's not fair at all.
I think there's a prenup. I could see it from both of your perspectives, in that, there's a prenup. Yeah, it's a failsafe in case someone's acting in bad faith. I've learned over these last couple of months, we've talked about it. You can know someone for 4 years, and then on a dime, boom, they switch on you. I get that, but I also think that if you're marrying someone, you probably know them well enough to say, okay, I feel like I can get a good enough idea of how this person's going to act, and at the very least, you have that conversation. You say, listen, this is not because I think you're going to be acting in bad faith. It's just in case things don't work out. That's fine. We can go our separate ways, and each person gets a fair cut, right? Because I don't think it's always going to be fair, especially in life and especially in divorce. But yeah, so I'm kind of torn. I could see it from both perspectives for sure.
Yeah, and I just want to kind of give a quick little tidbit to the family, man. Just if you can work that out, if you can't, try to be like an adult about it and try to be like just amicably, try to figure out something, because now you got kids involved, their feelings involved. So we just appreciate it if you would handle that respectfully. These have been some very crazy stories. We want to thank you for listening to them, and make sure that you get with Jay Cooperman, follow him as he is progressing, doing a whole bunch of different things, and furthering his career as an announcer within the MMA world.
Coop TV, 3 O's, see 3 O's PTV on Instagram. Ev, I appreciate you having me on, man. Can we come on again? This was super fun.
Yeah, we could definitely come on again. We could definitely come on
This is
again.
the most fun I've had guesting on a pod in a while.
Yep,
Your pod
absolutely.
this episode. would be-
Yeah, absolutely. And Ben, I want to thank you for your input.
Of course. Happy to be here.
Let's clap it up for Ben, man. Let's clap it up.
Let's do that. Let's go. All right, thanks. I feel great.
And with that being said, this has been another edition of Audio Airstrike. Make sure you follow us all over Instagram. Well, not Twitter anymore. It's X now. And also on TikTok and also on YouTube where you can catch full episodes. With that being said, this has been another edition of Audio Airstrike. Y'all take care. Be safe.
Peace.
Peace.